Alright everybody, today we have our bird-loving princess and we have two different builds that you can go for with her today. I'm going to cover firstly DPS build and then we are going for the support build or sub DPS, however you want to call it. So yeah, firstly DPS one because I'm building her as a DPS, but she has probably more function as support slash sub DPS. So yeah, we are going to start with DPS build and then we will move on. Of course, firstly, as always, we are going with weapons. Now, this weapon suits her perfectly and it does have physical damage bonus. Also, you have some other options. You can go with the crit weapon in the main stat. So you're not specifically going to use this weapon because there are some other ones that are probably even better. And I do believe that Yoimiya's weapon would actually be much better on her. Provide definitely much more damage. But hey, I have only one, so it's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to share. Although we can use that weapon when I do a showcase, but as you can see I don't have all artifacts, so the build is not finished. Anyways, now that we have cleared everything that we have with weapons, we can move on to the artifacts. So, DPS build, just because I'm going purely for the physical damage bonus, I'm going to put 2 Pale Flame and 2 Bloodstain, so I can get 50% physical damage bonus on my Fischl. And when it comes to the stats, well, you will go with the attack, physical damage bonus and crit. Substats, you can go with the crit ones, then attack and energy recharge, just to keep O's all the time on the field. Just a little bit more and extra damage, why not? And if you are using this weapon that I have on her, then you will definitely want to have O's all the time on the field, just because of the substat, the text that you have here, which I'm not going to read all the text now, but basically if the skill is going to hit opponent, then you get extra attack. If normal attack hits opponent, then you get extra attack on skill. That's it. So definitely go for just a little bit of energy recharge so you can keep your O's all the time on the field. And also if you have C6, then I guess O's is going to be definitely all the time active. Next one, talents. Well, DPS build, you know it. The normal attack is going to be at max level and you don't really care about skill and burst. But hey, just because you can make support build whenever you want, you can go 999, but there's also one other option. If you did decide just to go for DPS, then you will go 911, just because you don't care about O's damage. And passive talents, something that I think absolutely no one is going to use. I mean, probably some people tried, but hey, if you hit O's with your fully charged shot, then you get AoE electro damage, thundering retribution. I mean, we can try it when I go and try out her damage when I finish the build completely, but no one is going to do it. You know, absolutely no one is going to do it. And I'm curious just how much damage is it going to provide in the end, and is it even worth it to try? The other passive talent, well, if any other active character triggers electro-related elemental reaction, you get some extra damage while Oz is on the field. If he is not, well, you will not get it. But if Oz is on the field, then you get some extra electro damage. When it comes to weapons for the support build, we want to have energy recharge weapon if possible, just because you have between the skill cooldown and the O's time on the field, you have few seconds in between. So you will want to have your burst active all the time. I mean, not all the time, but just to be ready every single rotation. So energy recharge weapon should be priority and not any better than elegy. Then you have some other options. You can go for the EM weapons, definitely, just because you are getting some elemental reactions. But if you don't have all of that, then you can go with some of the crit weapons. But hey, the best one, in my opinion, should be energy recharge weapon, just because your Oz is going to be ready every single rotation and you will not have to worry about that. And if you don't have it, then yes, you can use some energy recharge sand instead of weapon. That option stands as well. And now when I started with artifacts, then we can also talk about them. We have new set, the Golden Troop, which is going to be incredible. Just because Oz is actually a skill, so all boosts from this set are going specifically to Oz, and you're putting absolutely everything just to Oz damage and just to keep him on the field. So everything is related to the Oz damage, and that is only important thing. So yeah, this set is going to be incredible on Fischl. And there's one more set which is pretty old, but hey, you don't have anything better. So Thundering Fury is going to get the job done, but maybe we will have in the future enough artifacts to try between these two sets and just to see which one is going to be better on Fischl. So yeah, we will have to wait and see how is it going to play out when I farm enough. I have so many characters to build, so we have time for that, we have time. Now, when it comes to the stats, if you did go with the ER weapon, then you can go with the attack sand. If you went with the EM or crit weapon, then if you don't have enough energy recharge, it is possible that you will get with the other artifacts enough energy recharge. So if you don't have enough, then you will go with the energy recharge sand. Of course, it's going to be electro damage bonus goblet and crit circlet. So yeah, just remember, if you don't have enough energy recharge, then you will switch to the ER sand. If you have enough, it doesn't matter, you can go with the attack one, and attack sand also can have extra energy recharge, so it might be just okay. It depends which characters are in your team as well, so it maybe sometimes is going to function with the ER sand, and sometimes it's going to be okay just to keep the attack sand. So basically, try to build one team around her and just keep one artifact so you don't have to switch every single time. Getting back to talents, this time we don't need normal attack, but skill and burst are going to the maximum, so that's basically the only difference between DPS and the support build. Finally, we are getting to the Constellations. All of these are related to the Oz, so support build is going to benefit a little bit more than a DPS one, but hey, it is what it is. So the first constellation is going to allow your Oz, while he is not on the field, that he can still do some damage. And it is some percentage of the Fischl's attack, and that is 22%. So while he is not on the field, he can still deal some damage while Fischl is attacking enemies. So not really going for support build here, it's more related to DPS one. But in DPS one we don't care about Oz damage, so kind of waste of Constellation, but hey, it is what it is. It's old character and we cannot actually expect that much from Hoyoverse in the beginning of making this game, so yeah, it is what it is. Second Constellation, when you use your skill, it is going to deal additional 200% of the attack as damage, and AoE is increased, which is going to be good if you have some group of enemies. I mean, it's also good for one enemy just because you have additional damage, but it's not really going to deal that much. I think it's 20-30k maximum that I had, so not really that impressive, but hey, it is what it is. C4, when you use your burst, you will deal 222% of attack as electro damage to surrounding enemies. And I think it does count to the enemies that are in your way and you're going through them, because we know that when you use your burst you are flying as Oz. Also, when skill ends, you will get 20% of HP back to the Fischl. She will regenerate a little bit. So this is going to be definitely almost the best constellation that Fischl has. And I mean, it is C4, so it should be like that. But hey, not many characters have this good constellation. So yeah, definitely a good one. So additional damage and regeneration of your HP. I think that this could be one of the best constellations from the first characters that Hoyoverse made. So yeah, moving on to DC6. Now, you will get additional time for your Oz on the field, and that is going to be definitely a golden constellation for the support build. And you will get some extra electro damage as well, which is also great for the support build. Now, of course, DPS build doesn't actually benefit from all of these, but hey, at least you have one of your builds which is going to function a little bit better when you get all of these constellations. And when you get that C6, then definitely support build is going to shine. But I have decided that I'm going to build my Fischl as a DPS, and it is what it is. I'm going to keep her as that just because I really do not know on who I'm going to put this weapon. Not really the only reason, but one of the reasons, so yeah. Alright, we came to the very end. We are going to talk about teams, and yes, we will talk about DPS teams. Firstly, it's going to be a little bit harder to choose characters just because it's going to be more physical related, not electro related. So, I mean, you can build her as the electro and try to push as a DPS, but in the end, the physical damage is going to count more than the electro damage. So, let's get with this. Firstly, you can put your Zhongli in this team because he's, let's say, neutral, so he's going to boost absolutely everyone. Normal attack is boosted by Shenhe, so don't forget about that one. Also, Furina is boosting absolutely everyone, and Yunjin is boosting normal attack and how fast you can attack. Then we have Mika, who is specifically boosting physical damage bonus. Although against one enemy it's not really that impressive, but hey, at least he is doing that. After that we have Bennett, who is boosting attack, and that's definitely going to help our Fischl. I don't have every single character, so I might forget someone, but leave it in the comments. Also, one other thing that is going to be crucial in all of this. For physical damage, you can go with the Electro and Cryo. You have Electro because of Oz, And if you put, let's say, Mika, or you put Shenhe, especially Shenhe, because she's going to be able to put a little bit more cryo than Mika. I think that Mika is providing cryo only when he uses his burst, and he's healing a little bit with burst, nothing too special, but only with burst, if I do remember correctly. So Shenhe is going to be a great option because you can get superconduct, and we know that it is going to definitely help when it comes to the physical damage boosting. If I did forget someone, leave it in the comments, as I said. And now we are going to move on to the support build. In support build, because we are boosting Electro, the best booster for Electro is going to be Kujo Sara. Now we have Shilonen, who is going to definitely boost like a maniac, and we have Kazuha, who is going to boost as well.
Right. Let's head off.
You can put Shilonen here, and then it is going to be maximum damage, I guess. Also, you have some other options. You have boost a little bit more, even something crazier to make in this team, or you can just go with your Zhongli. Still, you have Shenhe, because she is boosting both skill and burst damage. Then Furina, because she is boosting as well. Bennett is definitely going to be the option here. And we have Sucrose as well, just because she's going to boost the elemental damage. So yeah, we have quite few options, and it is very different when you are building teams for one role and for the other one. So yeah, even for this kind of build, if I did forget about someone, definitely leave it in the comments. And if you're using someone else in your teams, or if you're building her a little bit different with someone, definitely leave that one as well. Now, to end this video, I have just to say that Fischl is one of the best support characters from the beginning of the game, and she's still good, although of course she cannot keep up with the new characters, but she can still provide a lot of damage. And if you're building her, I want to know how crazy did you build her, and what kind of ridiculous damage did you get with your Oz, because I do know that he can provide quite a lot of damage. And also, if you're building her as a physical DPS, I definitely want to know the impressions and just how good is she. Maybe I could get her build done in few months, I'm not really sure. It depends how lucky am I going to be with artifacts, but if someone has already built her, I want to see that, or at least know how much damage did you get with her. So yeah, definitely leave it in the comments, and as always, I will see you in the next guide.